Family Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Album review time. So, Osukaru. I've been sent this album early. Thanks to the band for that. Called Starbound, and it's coming out on the 22nd of October. If anyone doesn't know who Osukaru are, Swedish band. This is their 6th album. This one's on AOR Heaven Records, great label. This one's produced by Osukaru, who's actually the guitarist. It's mixed by Sven Jensen and mastered by Christopher Borg. So this is the follow-up to House of Mirrors 2016. So these are a Swedish band. There's a lot of Swedish bands out there, but the question must be, because of the amount of Swedish bands out there and how many great ones there are, do this band compete with those Swedish bands? Well, this album definitely competes. This is an absolutely outstanding album. I've reacted to 2 singles so far. Both of them have just been mind-blowing. Everything you'd want from melodic hard rock, bordering on metal as well, metal riffing especially. So, Fredrik Werner on the vocals and guitar, Osukaru on the guitar, Olof Gadd on the bass, and CD on the drums. So on listening to House of Mirrors, it's definitely more AOR. This album is introducing more metal riffs. It's more immediate. It's like House of Mirrors is a great album, but it's hinting of what this album is going to be. The songwriting is just improved massively. I think this is an outstanding album that just improves on everything that House of Mirrors had as a sort of standing point, as a base. But this is just, the band must be so proud of this album. It's absolutely great. And yes, this competes definitely with some of those brilliant Swedish melodic hard rock bands, for sure. So, I do run through the tracks one by one. And it's an outstanding album. I won't touch upon the singles. Well, I will. I've got to talk about the singles again because they're absolutely great. But we start off with a rocking track called Starbound. Now, we get a great little sort of intro at the beginning of this. It's sort of almost like, I think it's a rocket engine just starting up by the sounds of it, which would make sense because of the first track, Starbound, the title track. This is a great up-tempo rocking track to kick the album off. Medium to fast-paced song. Straight away you get those great guitar riffs loud in the mix that leads up to a brilliant chorus. Some of the choruses on this album are fantastic, just the way they've got to be on melodic hard rock music. You know how sort of important those backing vocals are as well, in the chorus especially. They're so sweet. They've got them down to a T. And they vary them quite a bit from song to song. The backing vocals, sometimes they take sort of a different style with them, which is very, very cool indeed. An excellent track to kick the album off. A real rocking track. Next up is Rise of the Underdog. Again, those heavy riffs kick in for the verses. Almost Jake Lee-esque, I would say. Real classic metal riff in here. A very cool pre-chorus where the band simply sort of use those gang vocals on this one, which lead into such a melodic chorus where the heaviness sort of gives in to a really sort of sweet, sugary, catchy chorus. Brilliant. The mix of the metal riffs, one part, and pure AOR is a masterclass in songwriting. It's absolutely brilliant, and they mix the two and it just gels. Tainted Heart is next. This was a single. I reacted to this. This is the first time I heard the band and I was just blown away. This is such a cool song, pure 80s, and I'm sure the band won't mind me saying this, and it sort of lets you guys know that what you're expecting is so melodic, but sort of brought forward into, you know, the modern era, but got those definitely 80s melodic rock and metal vibes. This time the backing vocals are almost like choir-like on the bridge to the chorus. But man, the chorus is perfect. I can't get enough of this song. The twin lead parts here are absolutely mind-blowing. Somewhere, sometime, somehow. So a clean guitar starts this before we go into an amazing AOR track. The band can write a perfect metal track, but boy, they can write a perfect AOR track too. This is a nighttime driving track if ever I heard one. It just gives me those vibes. This takes sort of the best parts of classic bands like Journey, Survivor, and FM, British band FM, and sort of gives it to you in a brilliant, just over 4-minute song. Absolutely outstanding. Guest appearance from a guy called Mark Holden as well, from the band Boulevard, AOR band, if anyone's heard of them. So very cool appearance on the saxophone, only briefly, but very cool indeed. Next up we have Joker in the House of Cards. Cool guitar melody leads us into a very cool track that has a slight sleazy feel in the verses. Man, and what a chorus again. They sort of give you a brilliant synth touch along with those backing vocals to bring the AOR feel again. What a cool song. The different styles they give you in a song, like I said before, just make it so exciting and different to listen to. Just to top it off, an amazing solo going over a sort of thumping rhythm section. Just leaves you with an outstanding track. Go for the Legends is next. This has more of an AOR feel, but the guitars come in heavy on the second part of the verses. Those gorgeous backing vocals again are dotted about all through this track. This is the perfect, and I sort of relate songs and how it makes me feel. It's sort of a perfect 80s movie soundtrack song. These guys really know how to write a song that sounds huge. It's more stadium rock, I would say, this album in general, than House of Mirrors album. Solo, again, is just really short, but absolutely outstanding. The guitaring on this album is just top notch. It's just mind blowing. It really is. And it's just like pulling every guitar heroic you can think of into a solo. Shut It Out is next. Another single. Brilliant, cool metal riff just sets the song off. This is just a perfect hard rock song. Again, with that slight bit of sleaze in this one. A huge sing-along chorus. What a choice for a single. Absolutely outstanding. I've just got to give a shout out to the vocalist as well on this one and throughout. He's got a brilliant tone to his voice. Sort of a rough edge to his voice, but he can really hit some heights, you know, absolutely superb. And also the bass and the drums across this album are just so tight. Just how you want them in this melodic hard rock sort of music. They just keep that rhythm just so tight. And these guys are on their 6th album. They're just like, you know, they've honed in their skills and just grown and grown by the sounds of it to me. And to make this album, which for me is obviously the album of their career. For me, that is. Next up is On the Streets again. Very cool Van Halen-esque riff at the start here. And we enter a great hard rock track that just... This one really sort of oozes attitude, this one. That stop-start riff running through it is just infectious. It's a lot of fun party track, this one. The solo for me is really inspired as well by Eddie Van Halen. That's what it sounds like to me. Very skillful, very technical, very cool indeed. Next up is a belter of a song, a ballad called Within the Depths of Love. Now, this is like very, again, feels very 80s inspired. Man, these guys really know how to capture that sort of classic 80s feel when they want to. Like I said, they do mix it up and they sound very sort of modern at the same time. They've obviously got those influential 80s melodies running through as well. Amazing when the harmonies flow over the chorus. A great twin lead melody breaks off into an outstanding sort of heartfelt solo. Just how you want it on a ballad. Huge vocal performance here. Got to be a future single. I'm listening to this thinking this is a single. Maybe, maybe not. And then we finish off with a great track called All Up. Another huge track. It's an AOR song that sort of closes the album off. These guys capture that 80s movie soundtrack again for me. This gives me those vibes again. Beautiful harmonising, backing vocals again. Just fill the song up. Amazing track to round off one of, well, for sure. And I know I keep saying it. it's going to be up there on my top albums of the year. And I know there's so many that are great releases this year, but this one competes for sure as one of my top albums of the year. It's outstanding, and it has got that, definitely that maturity what you can hear the band heading for on the last album, House of Mirrors. So if you liked House of Mirrors, which is a brilliant album, this one just hones it a little bit more, but amps up the heaviness with some metal riffs, but definitely staying true to that melodic, catchy AOR stuff as well throughout the album. Very cool mixture of songs, such an interesting listen, lovely length of the album, 10 tracks, just how you want it in this sort of music, doesn't overstay its welcome. A brilliant band coming out of Sweden. What more can I say? Sweden is just knocking it out of the park again. Osukaru, Starbound, 22nd of October. This is a definite must buy. Totally recommended. I'll see you next time.